Today's episode is brought to you by the Nuanced Dragon Ambient Experience, or DAX for short. To learn more about how the DAX Copilot can help reduce burnout and restore the joy of practicing medicine, stick around after the episode or visit nuance.com/discoverdax. That's nuance.com/discoverdax.
Knock, knock. Hi.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Knock Knock Hi with the Glaucomfleckens. I am Dr. Glaucomflecken.
I am Lady Glaucomflecken.
It's time for Glauc Talk.
Glauc Talk.
The time
We
with the
talk Glauc.
we,
Glauc's Talk.
we talk a lot of Glauc here on Glauc Talk. Oh, we're just having a conversation, you and I.
Yeah.
We got a few things that I want to go over.
Okay.
Today.
Is this housekeeping?
No, not really. Although we could just do our normal housekeeping. We need to, get the house painted. And
No, I don't think anyone is
that's not
interested
interested. Okay.
in
All
that
right.
now.
So I do have something I want to talk about with you.
What?
I had jury duty.
Oh, you did. Yeah. Well, kind of.
Again.
You got called in.
Okay, what is it though? I have a theory. I have no way to prove this. I don't think it's random. I don't think it's random.
Bold claim, sir.
It is not random. It can't be. Because I've gotten it twice
Yeah.
in like 3 years.
We are in a state where you can get called every 2 years.
Yeah. You have not gotten called once.
In this state.
Okay. Here's what I think is going on. Okay. I think they okay, well, let me just tell you what my experience was this time. So
Wait, no, tell me what you think is going
well,
on.
I'll get there.
Okay.
I'll get there. So it was we all got dismissed. So basically we show up at like 7:30 in the morning. All right, I get my little juror badge. All right, I tweet my photo because, of course I've got to make content out of it somehow. And I sit there, and we all sit there, and then eventually the judge walked into the room where all the potential jurors were sitting and said they had resolved the case.
Yeah.
And so we all just went home. The downside is obviously it's like a lost day of productivity I cleared my schedule, my
Your
clinic schedule.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I mean, I was doing my
Your civic duty.
my civic duty. I was being a good citizen of this great county that I live in. But I think what happens is that they see who shows up. They know who shows up, who doesn't.
Okay. There's a flaw immediately in your plan.
Hold on. I think they see who shows up, and then you get to put on a separate list. And you're more likely to get called once your 2 years, the window is up. Then you're like you immediately go on the list of someone who's more likely to show up. How do you like that theory?
I don't. First of all, that would not explain why I have not been called. Because it's not like I got called and didn't show up, and so now I'm no longer on the list.
I think it's like two lists that get pulled together. So like, I think they combine into one list. Half of it's people that are more likely to come in.
Yeah.
And then half of it's just random. So I think there is some random aspect to it, but you cannot tell me that. And I heard other people when I tweeted about it, people are like, "Oh yeah, I get called all the time," and then some people are like, "I've never get called." I don't think it's random. I think they know who's more likely to come in.
So you're telling me that in a random system, there would be no people that never get called and no people that often get called in a random system? Is that what you're saying?
Like, please
Is this your understanding of probability and statistics?
Please do not poke holes in my theory here, all right? Because I'm right.
Okay.
That's the only clear explanation of why I would get it twice and you would get it 0 times.
Okay, so I don't need to explain to you about the bell curve.
Let's not bore our audience with they don't want to hear a statistics lesson, do you folks? Okay. I'm just saying, like, I'd appreciate
that you
it
become a conspiracy theorist.
Hey, we all have some kind of conspiracy theories that we endorse. At least mine's harmless. Okay. I just think that I'm on a list. That's what I think.
Oh, you're probably on many lists. I don't know if this is one of them.
I did serve in a jury. Have you ever been on a jury?
Like you show up and you get called. No,
You got selected
I've
for the
always
jury.
been dismissed.
I
Yeah.
was selected back in 2019,
Mhm.
and I guess it's been like 4 or 5 years since I've been on it. And the whole trial took like 3 hours,
Mhm.
so it was like super quick.
Mhm.
So that one day, that was the only day I had to take off
What
work.
kind of a?
It was like a parole violation type thing, so it wasn't anything like major. Yeah,
Mhm.
but it was really interesting to see the process, and like the judge talked to us about how he'd buttered us up. We're good citizens.
Yeah, they always do that.
Oh yeah, they love that. They love that. But it's just seeing how close it is to TV. There's some parts of it that were reminiscent of things I've seen in movies, like the counselors talking to you. And
did anybody object?
There were no objections during that trial. No, I was really hoping for. I was like waiting, like, come on, give me an objection here.
Right.
Sustained. Overruled, none of that stuff. No. Everyone was very well behaved. So nobody attacked the judge or anything, or the jurors.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. So it's kind of cool to like do it once, and then like I've had my, that's fine.
Yeah, because jury duty is for you.
Well, my point is, like, I will always go when called, but if I don't serve on another jury, like, I'll be fine with that.
Sure.
You
I think that's how we all feel.
I
don't know. Maybe some people actually like it.
I don't know why I'm telling you about it, because you're on a separate list and you're never going to get called. So anyway, all right. So we have a little health news to start off with, but let's do something a little. Let's build it into a segment that I have for you.
Okay.
Let me get my notes. All right. This is a segment called "Why Should I Care?"
Okay.
All right. So we each try to tell the other person why you should care about a thing.
Okay.
So my thing that you should care about, and what all people should care about, is also the part of the healthcare news.
Okay.
Is private equity.
Okay.
I know you're like, oh God, again with the private equity, but seriously, like, private equity is kind of having a moment right now in terms of the public consciousness of their awareness of private equity's impact in their lives. And it's all because of Red Lobster.
Okay, but hold on. You need to clarify. Is this all private equity of any kind?
Yes.
Or is this specific to healthcare?
No, it's not specific to healthcare. This is just private equity in general.
As a concept.
Yes.
Private equity.
Yeah. The idea of very rich people pulling their money together to buy things.
Okay.
And the reason it's kind of having a moment is because of the news that Red Lobster has closed a bunch of stores. So Red Lobster is like one of the largest casual dining restaurants in the U.S., right?
Okay.
And so they are like not doing well. They're losing a bunch of money. And it was going all over social media because apparently a lot of people really love Red Lobster.
That is surprising to me.
I haven't eaten there in a long time. I would see it.
I
go
don't
there.
like seafood, so I'm not the best judge.
You're not the best judge of, but I've always enjoyed my experiences at Red Lobster. But there are people.
They do have those cheddar biscuits. Those are pretty good.
Those are really good. And they had this like all you can eat shrimp thing that
should not happen.
That they lost a lot of money with, and people were blaming their financial woes on that. But turns out, no, it's because they were bought by a private equity company. And then they basically had a lot of their assets sold off by that company to try to recoup their costs. And there's all kinds of machinations and shenanigans and things that these private equity companies do to basically they're basically flipping the company and to try to make money off of it. That's the only reason they're buying any company.
The whole intention is always to sell it.
To sell it.
It's not to like buy a company, take it over, improve it, continue to own it.
That's how they sell the idea to people, like in healthcare. They'll sell it to doctors, be like, hey, well, listen, we're going to really take your company, your practice to the next level. But then they make all these changes. They cut costs because they have to cut costs somewhere, right? To make a profit, you got to either cut costs or increase revenue. And you can only increase so much revenue before you have to at least end up cutting costs. And that's where the challenge comes in healthcare in particular. But the reason I bring up the Red Lobster thing is just because there was so much conversation on social media for like a couple weeks, just about like people realizing, oh man, this is horrible. With this, whatever this private equity thing, it sounds terrible. And I'm sitting there, and a lot of people in healthcare were sitting there like, yeah, like this,
Right.
it kind of sucks, right?
It's Red Lobster that finally did it for
Like,
people.
yeah, exactly. Like now imagine instead of like fast food, like fish, it's it's your health. I mean, fast food fish, that might also impact your health, but just healthcare. And so the reason you should care about private equity is because this is what happens, just in a nutshell, okay? The private equity firm buys the hospital or the individual practices or whatever, and they start cutting costs. And they make it an untenable situation, a terrible situation. They tank the morale, they cut corners, and eventually that has to impact patient care. And it's up to the people that see the patients to like keep it going, keep that positive, keep the patient care going to the standards that they're used to. But that can only last so long.
Continue to do the same with less.
Exactly. And what'll happen with these hospitals is, in order to try to generate revenue, these private equity owned practices and hospitals, they'll start cherry picking what type of patients they want to see. All right. So they'll like maybe.
That seems like it should not be legal.
There's a lot about this that shouldn't be legal. Yeah. Yes. But that's why you see certain practices and just private equity lobbyists in general say, look how low our mortality rates are.
Right.
Well, that's because they're choosing to see healthier patients.
Right.
They're turning away the sicker patients. And obviously that's bad for healthcare. So I hope people see this Red Lobster thing. And I realize I'm not really talking to you, because you could not care less about Red Lobster and just anything that comes from the sea. But my hope is that people realize
anything that comes from the sea that you're supposed to eat. Let's not spread the rumor that I don't care about our ocean life.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. You love fish, theoretically.
In the water.
You do hate seafood. I like it.
No, little alien monsters is what you're eating.
Okay. I have a fear of the deep water. I don't like that.
Me too. I don't want to be there. I'm not made for that.
I don't want to be swimming in the ocean.
No.
That sounds scary. There's monsters down there.
Exactly. And you're eating them.
No, I'm not eating the monsters.
You are what you eat.
I mean, if the monsters taste good, it doesn't matter to me. Anyway, why you should care is because all the negative press, all the terrible things you hear about healthcare happening in other sectors of society is also happening in healthcare.
Right.
And I just, part of what I do on social media is I just want people to realize that. And Red Lobster has helped.
I don't know though that the general public has a great awareness of like everywhere that private equity is happening.
Those of you listening now are wondering where private equity is. It's everywhere. It really is. It feels that way. It's in houses. Our neighbor.
Yep.
Okay, let's tell that story.
Do we have to?
Well, yeah, we have to. Yes. Our neighbor.
I really don't know it that well.
Oh, I'll tell it.
Okay.
So our neighbor just put their house up for sale, our former neighbor.
Yes.
They lived on our street. I say neighbor, we didn't know them, but
neighbor just means you lived by them, which is true.
Exactly. So the house was for sale for a while, and then somebody moved in, just recently bought the house, and we did end up talking. You had a conversation with them, and they told you the horrible thing that happened with them, because apparently the company that owned the house,
they purchased the house not from
like a person,
right,
a realtor,
a family or whatever, right? They purchased it from a company that owned a bunch of houses
that was backed by private equity.
Yeah.
So private equity is in real estate as well, obviously, yes. Right? So anyway, it was a private equity backed company, and they had to get the house ready to sell. And of course, as you would imagine, they tried to do it as cheaply as possible.
Right.
So they hired a painting company to come in, and they apparently did a terrible job painting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, didn't pay the painters. And so what happened was these new owners
Well, they asked for it to be repainted.
Right.
So then that happened, and it was still a terrible repaint.
Which is just
So
like
now there's
bad
two
painters.
paint jobs that these painters presumably have not been
Have botched.
paid for and have botched.
Yeah, and they didn't get paid. And then one day the new owners came to the house and noticed the door was open.
Yeah.
And they walked in and all the appliances were gone.
Yeah.
The painters apparently were so angry that they had not been paid that they took the appliances. And so it's just like, I'm not, who knows what kind of, there's so many unknowns to this situation, this particular one, but does it surprise anybody that it's like private equity is involved in that kind of thing?
Right.
Like that's just the type of thing that you hear about with these finance companies. And so anyway, I was just shaking my head here and there. I was like,
yeah,
of course it's
private equity. That's
all
private equity is your cardiology.
Private equity. Bartholomew Banks.
Yeah.
All right. So that was my long-winded, very long-winded, why you should care. All right. So let's get yours.
Well, okay. So my takeaway from yours, though, first
Yes.
is that private equity makes everything worse,
Yes.
and therefore that's why
It has no value to society. There you go. I challenge you to find me a value, like a value add to society.
Mm-hmm. That's not just like adding more money to rich people's pockets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So tell me, what's your why should I care?
Okay. I'm excited about this one.
Let's hear.
Well, first, the thing you should care about is The Voice Norway.
The Voice Norway.
Norway. Yes. Specifically, a single contestant that competed in this year's The Voice Norway.
All right. I have a question.
Okay.
How did you find The Voice Norway? Because you have never been like a American The Voice.
Well, I just don't have much time to watch TV.
Okay.
That's all it is. It's not that I'm a fan or not a fan. It's just
So how'd you find it?
like all things these days, my social media algorithms fed it to me.
Just knew. It was like, I know who's going to be a fan of this.
I guess so.
Lady Glauc.
They sent it my way.
Okay.
And I watched it. And everyone should watch it.
Why?
I watched this clip, I should say. Because this person, his name is Lavrans Svendsen.
Pretty good. Nice.
And I don't think he's human.
Why?
Because, okay, so the clip that I saw of him was he did a cover of that Rihanna song, Stay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that, first of all, I'm already intrigued. Anytime there's like a cross-gender cover, right? Like,
okay,
especially when it's like somebody that's really well known for their voice, and then you take somebody that has basically the opposite voice, and now they're gonna sing the song.
So another example of that, real quick. There was a viral video on TikTok of a guy singing the Cranberries.
Yeah,
Linger.
Sure.
Yeah,
right. Very distinctive female voice, very powerful, excellent female voice, and then you tell me that a dude's gonna try to sing that, I'm gonna watch that.
Okay.
That's interesting. Okay. So watch it. But it's not just that. This person looks like a literal Greek god. Like as if he were a statue that exists. Go see one anywhere, right? Anywhere there is one. Pick any Greek.
What's his name?
Lavrans Svendsen. Lavrans.
Lavrans Svendsen.
Yes.
All right, I gotta look at this guy.
And if you
I'm just gonna do
type in stay. Well, okay, there you go. That's all of them. So he is absolutely beautiful, but in like some otherworldly,
wow,
angelic elf creature.
Yeah, That's actually a really good description. Yeah, I see it.
He's very masculine and at the same time very feminine, and he is beautiful in both regards. Like, how do you do that?
That is interesting. He's got that Kristin Flannery jaw.
Oh yes. Well, I am. My genetic makeup anyway is largely Norwegian.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does kind of look like my face.
Maybe that's why you like him so much. It looks like you.
No, he doesn't look like me, but yes, there are certain characteristic features of some Scandinavian countries that I do have.
But yes, I see it. He's got the long hair, okay.
Well,
So that's what drew you in.
Yeah, so just his look is very distinctive, and what is interesting to me about it, it's not like, oh, he's so beautiful.
Okay.
It's like that is art embodied.
Okay.
Like that is a human art piece that I'm looking at.
All right.
And then he's going to sing that song.
Right, by Rihanna.
Yeah.
Is this why I was dreaming in a different language the other day? Were you listening to this as I was drifting off to sleep?
Oh, yeah. I've done a deep dive. I've subsequently found all the clips of him singing. I don't have access to actually watch the show itself because it's only on Norwegian TV.
You don't watch the actual show? You just watch his clips?
Just his clips.
Over and over again.
And I really wanted
Is it ongoing now? Is it like the show is...
It just finished.
Okay.
He was in the finale. He was.
Don't spoil it for people.
Okay, I won't spoil it. I will say that he is in the final 2.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Google if you want to and see what happened.
Lavrans Svendsen.
But I watched all of his performances, and every single performance is like, it's just so creative. Like every single one is different.
Okay.
Visually and the sound, and like it just is the kind of artist that you see that just seems like anything he does is going to be interesting, and he seems like he's just tons of creative ideas and very prolific in that way, right? So you want to follow him. And I was trying to understand what the judges were saying, which was hard enough to find because the clip usually ends at the end of the performance.
Right.
So then you can't figure
out
out
the reaction is.
Yeah. So, but I did see a few where it showed some of the reactions that I couldn't obviously understand what they were saying because I don't speak Norwegian. So I decided, you know what? I can fix this problem. And I got on Duolingo.
Oh my God. That's why. Oh my God.
And I'm learning Norwegian.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not just for that. I mean, that was definitely the catalyst. But it is, like we said, I have a lot of Norwegian ancestry. And so I think it would be really just kind of cool to learn. And I like learning languages. It's just fun.
Yeah.
And so
How far have you
I'm going to do
so
that
far?
one. Not very far. I just started 3 days ago. But I'm doing pretty good.
I love that. That's the reason you're trying to learn another language is because of this beautiful man in a Norwegian.
Even human is just
music.
Not quite right. This is just
all right, you made
a
it clear.
human art form.
he's a work of art.
But I want you to understand, it's not like this is just an attractive individual.
It's okay if it would be.
It's like this is art come to earth.
Yeah. Okay.
Like he's just otherworldly.
Yeah. I mean, people say that about me too.
But not in a good way.
All right. Hey, let's take a break. We got to take a break. Let's come back. We'll cool Kristin off a bit and we'll come back. Hey, Kristin.
Yeah.
We got to talk about infectious disease.
Why? What's wrong with you?
Oh, not me.
Oh.
I want to tell you about Precision.
Oh.
This is great. It's the first ever EHR integrated infectious disease AI platform.
Very cool.
Yeah, for any specific patient, it automatically highlights better antibiotic regimens.
So helpful.
Helps with burnout. It just helps you save lives.
Yeah.
It's great. To see a demo, go to precision.com/KKH. That's precision spelled with an X instead of an E. So prxision.com/KKH. All right, we are back and with some more Glauc Talk, and I have confirmed that, yes, Kristin does follow the Norwegian gentleman on Instagram.
I do. Yeah. If anyone has a connection.
Can we get this guy on the podcast?
Yeah, I would like that.
I mean, I don't know if he has any connection to medicine at all. I don't think it
No,
matters.
I assume not.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And during the break, I did watch one of his videos.
Yeah.
You played one for us.
And what'd you think?
He has got the voice of an angel.
Right?
Yep. And the body of an elf.
Yes.
More like the head of an elf.
Like a muscular. The head of an elf.
The body of a dwarf?
The body of a Greek god.
Not a dwarf. That'd be right. That's not right.
That's not right at all.
Whatever the... Okay. Greek god.
What are you trying to come up with?
Where are the elves? The Lord of the Rings.
They're elves.
The elves.
They are elves.
Okay, but it's the head of the elf, but the body of a what?
A god.
There's no god. There's no Greek gods in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, it all has to be Lord of the Rings?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Man, I guess.
Okay.
That's boring.
That was very boring.
But they are a species in the Lord of the Rings.
Let's see. I just pulled up one of Lavrans Svendsen's YouTube videos here.
Yeah.
The first comment. I'm only human. No, sir.
That's what the song is called.
Yeah.
Is human.
It says, no, sir. You are an elf, angel, God for all I know. This is not human.
This is what I'm saying.
All right.
See, that person agrees with me.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, I think we've talked about the voice Norway. I think you probably have convinced people to check it out.
You guys. Yes. This if you want to have like just a sample, just one quick sample, do the Stay song. But any of his songs are fantastic.
I actually didn't even realize they had the voice in other countries.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah, I wonder what the worst one is.
Oh, good question. I don't know.
Does anybody come across the voice spinoff that was really bad? Like, which country has the worst singers? I would be interested to know. If you think your country that you're listening from has the worst singers, let us know and we'll investigate. We'll let you know. It's not Norway, clearly.
No.
All right. So let's do something else.
Okay.
You want to? All right. So let's do a segment called 2020 Hindsight.
Okay. 2020, which was supposed to be the year of the ophthalmologist.
Oh, I made so many jokes.
Yeah.
I made so many jokes.
Then joke's on you, because in 2020 you died.
It was more like 2200.
Yeah.
Hindsight.
It really sucked.
It was not good. More like count fingers. It was just blindness. I don't know. But so what I thought we'd do, because we get a lot of questions from people about social media and how to develop a presence, and I've talked about this in keynotes and lectures and things. And so I always talk about how the fact that I've like made mistakes along the way, like starting.
I keep track of them in a little notebook. By
exactly. Starting this whole social media thing, Glauc and Flecken. I was just flying by the seat of my pants the whole time.
Right. Well, you never meant for it to be anything other than just a silly hobby that you did in your free time.
Exactly. And I started in 2016, and just kind of making content as I go throughout my day. And so lately I've been thinking about what I would have done differently, or what we would have done differently. If we could go back with the knowledge we have now to 2016, how would we build this?
Yeah. If we were trying to actually set out to build something from scratch.
Exactly. All right. So I have a few things for you.
Okay.
All right. So the first one was I've written down, create social media accounts on all platforms.
Okay.
Right? Because I had for so long, I was just on Twitter.
Yeah.
For like 5 years.
Yeah.
And then one day I wandered on over to YouTube. And sure enough, there was someone posting all of my content.
Right.
And making a lot of money off of my videos.
Right. That, incidentally, you were getting the offers for. I mean, maybe this person also was, but they were finding your correct email address.
Right.
And sending you.
Because the YouTube imposter had directly copied every single thing about me.
Right.
Including my email address. So I was getting requests for like sponsorships. They're like, hey,
love
Dr. Glauc, love your YouTube videos. I thought they were just kind of people that were mixing up like
TikTok and YouTube.
Like TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think much of it, but I kept getting them. And so I was like, what's going on here? And I've never been a YouTuber, right? So I went on over there. It's like, who is this Glauc? What the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
And then I learned, after a little bit more research, just how much money you can make on YouTube.
Sometimes.
I mean, at that time, I was like, I wasn't making any money on social media. So, like, any amount of money they were making, I was like, well, that should be me.
Right.
I'm creating the content. I should be getting this money.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the guy made, but anyway, in the end, we, after some effort, we got the whole thing taken down. But that's something I would do differently. Is
stake your claim, even if you don't plan to like be on that channel
that
a lot,
yeah.
right? Just reserve your handle.
So I learned from my mistake, and then whenever like Blue Sky and Threads came up, I don't really use those platforms, but I do have an account on them. So anyway, that's the one. That's the first thing. Second thing, trademark.
Yep.
So you got this done.
I did.
Tell the people what you did.
Well, there were so many people on, the first was the YouTube account, and we went down that rabbit hole, but then there were other ones just kept popping up like whack-a-mole on all the different platforms. And so I thought, well, if there's so many people that are trying to use his image and his content, let's get it trademarked, and then it makes it easier to get it taken down. Because the way that these social media this is really inside baseball, nobody probably cares, but in order to report a video that someone else is posting that's yours, you have to go individual video by individual video, and you have to give them the link to the fraudulent content and then pair it with the link to the original content that you made. And so there were people, you have hundreds of videos, and there were people posting them all everywhere. And so I had to, manually, one by one go through and try to get every single video. And I tried to just report the account as a whole, but the platforms wouldn't do that. And so I had to do it that way.
If you're thinking that individual reporting sounds extremely tedious that you could outsource to somebody else, well, it's great for little kids.
It is a good job for an 11-year-old who works for your own company.
We hired our
children.
We dabbled in child labor.
No, it's not child labor. If you are if the company is you're the owners of the company and they work for you.
It's not child labor then.
It's not child labor. I mean, you do, at least in our state, it might be different in different states. In our state, you have to file paperwork, and there are limitations on how much they can work and all of that. But yeah, we had our 11-year-old go through and just, work on those spreadsheets, reporting all that stuff. So she likes to, make a point that all these, bad actors were taken down by an 11-year-old girl. So there you go.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But the trademark was a much easier option. Once we had a trademark, which it does take a very long time, so start early. Once we had a trademark, then I can report the account.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a much easier reporting process.
See, this is why things are so much better since Kristin joined the company. Because I never
all this stuff though, like people don't care. Like it's all the boring behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess maybe one thing that people could take away is like it can get complicated, and there's so much that goes into like a lot of people have this perception of content creators.
Yeah.
That it's either silly or it's not a real job, or
it doesn't take work. It looks really fast and easy.
Right.
And it's very fast and easy to consume, but it is less fast and easy to create.
Yeah. And then and it's I probably would have agreed with people who maybe said that it's not a real job. Like you can't make a career out of that stuff. But there is a lot that goes into it, and the creativity and the things that we're talking about now, like the business side of things.
Yeah.
To protect yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, even if you're not trying
property.
to like turn a big profit, like if this is not your main source of income or something, right? And you don't necessarily care about the income. It's not even about the income. It's about, protecting your own content and your own finances. So I'm going to guess what your third one is.
What?
I don't know if I'm going to have it right, but it'd be what mine would be, which is forming an LLC right out of the gates. So that's just a smart move to protect your own personal finances. Whether or not you plan to sell anything, whether you are trying to make any money, that's just a defensive move to keep anything that you're doing, that might be very public, keep that separate from, your private personal day job.
So that when United Healthcare decides to come after me,
Right.
You know,
Especially for someone like you that is just pissing people off right and left.
I thought about that when I made the little poster where I said Edna is evil, and I used the Edna logo.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm pushing it more here than I ever have.
Right. Thank goodness for whatever that law is that protects satire.
Yeah, the satire law. I think about that show that makes you like your skin crawl, Nathan, for you.
Oh.
You're not like a prank person. You don't like the.
Well, listen, that show's hilarious. I understand that. I agree with that. I just can't physically watch it. Yes.
I think it's your anxiety that gets you.
Painful to watch. Even though it's funny, I just crawl out of my skin.
But I always think about what he did an episode on, the dumb Starbucks episode.
Right.
Where he used the Starbucks logo and the font and everything, the colors.
Yeah, it looked just like the logo.
It looked just like Starbucks, but he called it dumb Starbucks. And it was all protected under like satire law. I don't know what the official...
Is that where you learned about that law?
It is how I learned about this. Yes. I truly get business advice from Nathan for you.
Oh my God.
He graduated from one of Canada's top business schools.
Yeah.
With great, decent grades.
C's and D's?
Yeah. Satire, it's amazing. It's like free speech. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
I love having free speech. And so yes, the third one for me was going to be the starting the business. We should have done that years ago.
Yeah, and that's just like a little bit of paperwork through your Secretary of State's website, whatever your state is, the Secretary of State's website. You
don't have to have a lawyer for that.
No, you just fill out a form and send in, I think it's like $100 or something. And boom, there you go.
Yeah. And but it has empowered me to really go after some of the companies and the things and talk about private equity and just be a little bit more digging the knife in a little bit more,
right?
Because I have not received a cease and desist yet.
I'm sure there have been many drafted.
How nervous have you been over the years?
That have not been able to be sent. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very nervous. That's part of why it's what drives all of this protective behavior.
Because you are a very anxious person.
I am a very anxious and I'm a very forward-thinking person. I think those go hand in hand. And they can be a strength, right, guys? I think through all the worst. It can also lead to a doomsday shelter. It's not a doomsday shelter. It's just some, extra items.
Yet.
I would love a doomsday shelter. I'm not going to turn one down if it showed up at my house.
Anyway, let's see what people say. Let's see if people actually got to the business advice part of the podcast.
If they didn't immediately turn it off.
Before we decide to keep that in. Because if people like hearing the inner workings of a social media business, yeah,
we could talk more about that if people are interested.
We've learned a lot on the fly. It's all been, we have no business training out whatsoever. It's all been stuff we've just figured out. We don't. No formal training.
No formal training. I did grow up watching my parents create a small business. So I have some just by osmosis. But yes, no formal education or training.
I'm bad at it.
You really are. I mean, I don't think you're trying for one thing. So who knows? Maybe you could be good at it.
Well, if you weren't here, I'd have to pick up the slack, but it wouldn't be as good.
I don't think it would because you don't like paying attention to detail.
I also have the private practice.
You got things going. Yeah. I was able to quit my other things to do this. So that does help.
Any other thoughts for our listeners and watchers?
Oh, you're talking to me.
Yeah. Before we wrap up.
For a second, I just kind of forgot I was here.
That's all we got for Glauc Talk, everyone. We've officially run out of things to say. I don't have.
I just go watch those clips, guys.
There it is.
You will not be sorry.
Okay, yeah, that's the takeaway here.
Yep.
Hey, Kristin.
Yeah.
You know what I have?
What?
A box full of eyelid mites.
Oh, you shouldn't
Look
have.
Look at these little guys. Look at their cute little legs and
the ribbing.
Yeah, look at this.
What is?
I want you to just be able to experience all of them. Look at that. We got so many. Mm-hmm. You know what these guys will do? What? They cause a disease called Demodex blepharitis.
That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah. So if you've ever had red, itchy, irritated eyelids, it could be because of this. You know, like crusty, flaky buildup on your eyelashes.
Yeah, that sounds uncomfortable.
No, it's. I mean, look, but I mean, they are like really cute though. Look at the little beady eyes. Look at the.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, don't get freaked out by this.
Why not? It sounds awful.
Just get checked out.
Oh,
it's an
eyelid. Well, that does make more sense.
You gotta get checked out for this. To find out more about Demodex blepharitis, you go to eyelidcheck.com. That's EYELID check.com to get more information about these little guys and Demodex blepharitis. Should we do a fan story?
Yeah.
Let's do that real quick, huh? All right, this comes from Rachel. It says, "Hi, Will and Kristin. I started listening to your podcast after your crossover episode with Sawbones.
I love Sawbones.
Oh, Sawbones was great. Yeah, really fun. I am a hospital pharmacist and have an embarrassing medical story that I thought Kristin would appreciate. In parentheses, nothing gross.
Oh, good.
She knows you.
I wasn't sure what kind of appreciate that, if it was sarcastic or...
I had recently accepted a new position at a hospital closer to home when I was pregnant with my second child. The new hospital had a terrible track record with elevators. Ooh, that's scary. Slow, and people getting stuck in them. Ooh. My office happened to be right next to the elevators on the 4th floor, and visitors often asked me if there was another set of elevators due to how slow the elevators were. One day, a visitor asked for directions to the cafeteria, which was on the 1st floor. I started giving him directions, but as soon as I opened my mouth, I forgot the word for elevator. Thanks, pregnancy brain. And instead, trying to give directions without the word, I started to describe what an elevator does. Quote, you know, the room that moves you between floors with doors that go like this, miming the action of elevator doors with my arms. Eventually, I did what I should have done in that first place. I got up from my desk, which had been hiding the fact that I was pregnant, to walk the patient to the cafeteria. As soon as I got up, the visitor noticed I was pregnant and apologized for making me get up. I will note that this whole encounter occurred while I was wearing my white coat.
Oh, boy.
I cannot imagine what that visitor must have been thinking when someone wearing a white coat started describing and miming an elevator to them.
I don't even have the excuse of pregnancy brain unless it just sticks around after you've had it. But that happens to me all the time. It reminds me too of when we had a newborn that didn't ever sleep and we couldn't think of any words, and you were trying to think of the word for syrup one day and you couldn't come up with it, but what came out instead was pancake sauce.
That's right.
Which I still think is pretty good.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Send us your stories, knockknockhi@human-content.com. Thank you for that one, Rachel. And thank you all for listening. Thank you for your feedback. We love to see those reviews. Those are great. You can also, there's lots of ways to reach out to us. You can email us, knockknockhi@human-content.com. Hang out with us on all our social media platforms, with our Human Content Podcast family, who's on Instagram and TikTok @HumanContentPods. If you leave a review on your favorite podcasting app or on YouTube, we can give you a shout out. Like @Gustav J on YouTube said, "You guys bring conversation into the home of a lonely person, and I love you for it."
Aww.
That's so nice, Gustav. Thank you. We're happy to be a voice in your home for you.
Yeah. Hopefully it can be a little less lonely time to time.
We also have full video episodes are up every week on our YouTube channel @Glaucumfleckens.
That's right.
And we have lots of perks over on our Patreon. Bonus episodes where we react to medical shows and movies, hang out with other members of the community. We're there and active in it. Early ad-free episode access, Q&A live stream events, much more. Patreon.com/Glaucumflecken or go to Glaucumflecken.com. Speaking of Patreon community perks, huh? You ready? New member shout out.
We're going to post a Lavrans video over there.
New member shout out. Gabe. Oh, we should. That's good. We'll Maybe Kristin will host a little.
It's publicly available. It's not really providing
any value.
We should
post that. No, show
them. Yeah.
Show our patrons what you're so enamored by. So we have a new member shout out to Gabe, Naaman S, Mr. Spock, Catherine R, Ashley R, Julia, Christiana B, Dave J. Welcome. Thank you all for joining. Shout out to the Jonathans as usual: Patrick Lucia C, Sharon S, Omar Edward K, Stephen G, Jonathan F, Marion W, Mr. Grandetti, Caitlin C, Brianna L, KL, Keith G, JJH, Derek and Mary H, Susanna F, Jenny J, Mohammed K, Aviga Parker, Ryan, Mohammed L, David H, Jack K, David H again, Gabe, Medical Meg, Bubbly Salt, and Pink Macho. Random shout out, Patreon Roulette, Stephanie H., thank you for being an emergency medicine tier patron.
Sorry, Stephanie what?
Oh, sorry, Stephanie V.
It's like the eye chart.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, really? Let's check one eye. What's better, one or two? Thank you all for listening. We're your hosts, Will and Kristin Flannery. Our executive producers are Will Flannery, Kristin Flannery, Aaron Corney, Rob Goldman, and Shanti Brick. Editor and engineer is Jason Portiz. Our music is by Omer Ben-Zvi. To learn about Knock Knock Hi's program disclaimer, ethics policy, submission verification, licensing terms, and HIPAA release terms, go to glaucandplanket.com or reach out to us, knockknockhigh@human-content.com with questions, concerns, or fun medical puns if you have them. Knock Knock High, Knock Knock I, and Knock Knock High is a human content production.
Knock, knock, goodbye.
Hey, Kristin.
Yeah.
Weren't you just talking about how much you hate admin work?
Yes, it's the worst.
Yeah, we don't like it much in medicine either.
Yeah, no one does.
Fortunately, we have DAX, though.
I know, you lucky ducks.
Yes, the Nuanced Dragon Ambient Experience, or DAX for short. This is AI-powered ambient technology that is incredible at reducing admin burden.
Yeah, it helps with your documentation, which is the worst part.
Yeah, it improves the physician-patient relationship. We can get back to what we love to do, which is just taking care of patients.
Yeah, kind of ironic. It's AI putting the human back into medicine.
That's exactly. And DAX is so great, you should ask for it from your company. In fact, 80% of patients say that their physician is more focused with the DAX Copilot. 85% of patients say their physician is more personable and conversational with DAX Copilot.
Do they make a home version?
To learn more about the Nuanced Dragon Ambient Experience, or DAX Copilot, visit nuance.com/discoverdax. That's nuance.com/discoverdax. Thanks for watching the episode. You can find more on that playlist over there. If you prefer to listen, or you just had your eyes dilated, you can binge full episodes wherever you get your podcasts. Or join the party over on Patreon, where you get early access episodes, hang out with us, get lots of exclusive bonus content. Help you subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think.